Hey guys, welcome to a new tier list video. This time I'm going to split my tier list into two different videos. One just for jungling and central and the other one for laning. The laning one will be out in like 2 days. So if you're not interested in central, make sure you subscribe and come back in 2 days. So I'm also going to make two tier lists for jungle this time, one for pre-mating and one for solo queue, because I think there's a small difference in there. And let's just start with the solo queue jungle tier list. So this is purely solo queue based. And yeah, we start with Venusaur. I think Venusaur is a low S tier. I'm also going to rank these characters in their own tier by how I think which one is better than the other, which I will do while I'm going onto this. So Venusaur, I think, is the easily S tier. Still very, very strong late game carry, very strong at the first Dreadnought fight. Yeah, does also the Dreadnought quite fast due to having Muscle Band. Gengar. I think Gengar is a solid B tier. You have to be very good at Gengar, but honestly, in solo queue, where it's like a lot of messy team fights, he can be quite fine, but just outclassed by a lot of other Pokemon, and also just very, very hard to play and hard to get value out of sometimes, especially in those late game team fights where buddy barriers get popped left and right. You have to fight ambush, or you have to play him like ambush style, make sure people face check into you. And yeah, hard to play, but you know, B tier is probably fine. Gardevoir. Again, do I need to C and D tier? I'm just going to put Gardevoir here. I think Gardevoir has potential as a jungler, but it's just not enough. Biggest problem, as always, doesn't get ultimate until level 9, which means you don't have it on the first Dreadnought fight. And yeah, then we have the non-jungle. I'm just gonna put them in here. Characters you shouldn't jungle with. Don't jungle. Just to make sure people don't do that. Still gonna put them in there. Yeah, just don't pick these characters in jungle. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Alright, there we go. Actually, Absol, I'm gonna put in A tier. I've been lately liking Absol a lot. Also got a buff a few patches ago, right? And honestly, Absol has kind of grown on me. I think the character has for sure potential. Just another very, very difficult character to play. Into certain team comps, you just can't really do much. Very hard to play in late game team fights. But Absol can snowball games quite hard. And her level 5 and 7 power spikes are huge, especially a level 5 power spike, Night Slash, or Pursuit, whatever you prefer. I personally prefer Night Slash. Has insane snowball potential and very, very strong early game. Garchomp, the same as Gardevoir, could have potential jungle if it was a level 9 character. Lucario, again, Lucario can jungle, but it's not recommended. It's just a waste in the jungle. He doesn't really need experience, neither can he hyper carry. So honestly, he's not very good jungler because you get outscaled. If you play Lucario jungle, you miss one of those big damage dealers late game that you might not have. But still, he can be played in jungle since the character is just OP in general. And if you want to, I'm just gonna put him in higher B tier. Crustle shouldn't jungle with. Greninja, honestly, in my opinion, the best solo queue jungler there is. This character is absolutely insane right now with double team and water shuriken. Crazy damage, crazy objective damage. Very good late game, very good mid game after level 7. Very good first Dreadnought fight. Character is absolutely insane. Then Talonflame, honestly, probably in my opinion the second best jungler there is currently in solo queue. Very good objective secure, also very strong level 7, very strong early game, very strong late game, very hard to kill. Does very good in these chaotic games where people have bad team comps and stuff. And he just also counters a lot of characters that have no mobility. This character is very, very OP, not to mention that he can ult almost every single minute if you play it well. Charizard, I'm going to put in higher A tier. I still think he has very good potential as a jungler. Just outclassed by a few other characters, but nonetheless very good. Zeraora, easily S tier. This character is also very easy to play. You just press ultimate to charge and you can wipe the enemy team pretty much on your own. I think this character still needs some fine-tuning at some point. And yeah. Zeraora, very, very broken character. Cinderace, this might surprise some people, but I think in solo queue I'm going to put Cinderace in a higher A tier. Just because if you don't have a team, it often feels kind of awful to play Cinderace. Cinderace is not very good on her own still, like she kind of needs a team to peel sometimes. So if your team is like, you know, in solo queue 4 ranged attackers, you're not going to have a good time. You have a hard time walking up, you're going to have a hard time auto-attacking. At least Greninja can kind of keep distance with Water Shuriken and double team. You can kind of keep distance to his opponents much, much easier. Even if you have like full squishy team. I'm going to put Cinderace in higher A tier in solo queue. Remember, this is purely for solo queue. In pre-made, it's going to look a bit different. Eldegoss should jungle with this. Blastoise, you can still jungle with this character, but I wouldn't recommend it if you really feel like fancying it. I think he just lost too much damage now. It's the same as Lucario, like it's potentially fine, but you just don't have a hyper carry for late game. But yeah, you know what? We're still gonna put him somewhere in B tier. Pikachu shouldn't jungle, shouldn't... Wait, this is not the characters in the game. Ninetales, Wigglytuff, Slowbro. Machamp, personally also for me a lower B tier, or lower A tier. His ult is very strong, has very good ganking. And yeah, honestly, again, just outshined by the other melees that are a bit on the top. I'm gonna put him just in lower 8 here. Blissey shouldn't also. Mamoswine. Sylveon in theory can. Jungle currently still, if you play Mystical Fire. Probably like a higher B tier. Mystical Fire Draining Kiss is for sure not terrible. It's also just feeling, it's just missing that, like these characters in B tier just missing the late game carry potential most of the time. Charizard and Machamp at least have like game-winning ultimates. Absol is just very, very like can get your entire team to late game much easier. But like these characters just miss that one thing that just makes them a late game carry. And again, like Garchomp and Gardevoir would actually honestly not be bad in jungle if they just had level 9 ultimates. Then they would probably be somewhere here at least, or here. But yeah, Greedent, like yeah, this B tier is just can jungle, but which is why it's just missing the hyper carry thing. You know, they're just miss being a hyper carry. Greedent got nerfed quite a bit. He went from here to here, I would say, now in the jungle. But yeah, I guess it's still fine, still playable, but just wouldn't recommend. Now we come to Decidueye. Decidueye is hard to rank, especially in solo queue. I would rate him either lower A tier or high B tier. It's the same as Cinderace, but even worse. Like if you don't have a team that plays for you, it's very, very hard to play this character. You need peel, and you need setup. If your team doesn't play around you, it gets quite difficult. So I think I'm gonna, like in solo queue, I'm gonna put him into higher B tier. I think these characters are just safer and have an easier time carrying games, even though I had good success with this character. But again, not everyone. I don't think everyone's gonna find success with this character that fast. But he's very fun. I enjoy the Decidueye a lot. And my opinion might change about solo queue at some point. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna put him into a higher B tier, potentially lower A tier, and see how the meta evolves. The problem is just like this character is just countered by all the meta junglers, right? Like all these at the top, Greninja, Talonflame, Zeraora, and Venusaur just run him down. Like he can't do much about it. Talonflame, you literally die in one fly, one auto take, one flame charge. Greninja, you get late game ultimated by him, or you get outranged by his water shuriken. Zeraora, again, one ultimate button press. Like Decidueye literally dies in one discharge. One Volt Switch, discharge onto Decidueye, he's dead. Venusaur as well, it's very hard to deal with Venusaur as someone that has no mobility. You just get late game, just get ran down. So I think the biggest problem with the character is just he's very countered by just very, very oppressive high damage dealer dive junglers on the enemy team, which puts him somewhere here. At least Cinderace has like a dash, and her ultimate is also much better to peel with. So yeah, easier to proc body barrier and easier to just move directly after your ultimate. Because the Decidueye has to press ultimate and then cancel it. And that still takes 1 second where you stand still. So yeah. Alright guys, this is the solo queue jungle tier list. Take it in for a moment and then we move on to the pre-made lane. Pre-made 1. Which honestly is not going to change much. But yeah. Let's talk about that. So the biggest changes to a pre-made 1 is just that Cinderace moves probably to here. Cinderace moves to the S tier in front. Decidueye, I would say, moves to a higher A tier, potentially lower S tier. Again, if you have a team that plays around you, it's quite good. I think the rest almost kind of stays the same. Like, I think these characters do have potential. They struggle a bit, but yeah. Honestly, those are like the biggest changes. Cinderace moves up a tier. Cinderace actually moves from like literally to one of the best characters in the game, just from playing in pre-mates to solo queue, and Decidueye also becomes much, much better when you have a coordinated team. that plays around your potential. And also, he's just much better in organized team comms. Besides that, I think this is still pretty fine. I would say, I mean, there's not much difference. Like, these three are pretty much, I would say, the same power in competitive or like in pre-made games. And yeah. Mainly, you should just mainly look at the S and A tier. Honestly, these characters probably should not be played much, but just in case you want to play some of those. Honestly, Gengar probably moves to C tier as well when it comes to pre-mates, because yeah, when the games are not chaotic, he just doesn't do anything. He needs chaotic games to shine. And yeah, we'll just get insanely outclassed and won't be able to do much. So yeah, this is my updated jungle tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, in 2 days, there will be the lane, a new lane tier list as well, again for solo queue and for premates. And I hope you guys to see you there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment. Bye!